Oh, good. You're anti-fair. I'm also anti-fair. We're
Yes.
this is the real Antifa. Um, um,
Yes, there may be some incidences of the podcasting voice, because the roommates are sleeping.
what time is it there?
It is 3:15 AM.
Nice.
I feel like I'm, doing an NPR show. Uh,
Welcome back to the Daily. Where, uh, yeah,
no,
it's
it's okay. There's 2 solid wood doors. I think I'm okay.
yeah. We're welcome back to the basement. Mara's still in Australia. I'm still in America. And Mara's tired. And
I
we're
had
going
to
to
watch
talk
The
about
Boss Baby too.
baby Jeff Goldblum.
Who I love how you were like, "He's a baby," and then I guess you were like you realized you had given me a huge spoiler, and you're like, "Oh, no, he's definitely not a baby."
Okay, but that was the only thing I remembered about the movie. Like, quite literally, the only thing I remember about The Boss Baby 2 was Jeff Goldblum just popping out of an adult human's head and just being a baby.
Well, like, the crazy thing is, I mean, I haven't seen the first one in a long time, but wasn't the whole thing that, like, the bad guy in that one was also a baby? Am I remembering that wrong?
Listen, I'm not up to my date on my Boss Baby lore. I'm gonna need to check the wiki. Um, but yeah, I uh, I wrote on Letterboxd. I need a baby cinematic universe crossover with the Eraserhead baby, the Teton baby, baby Annette, and baby Jeff Goldblum. Okay,
Ooh.
question: you put all of those babies in a cage fight. Who wins?
I mean, I think we all know.
You think
Titan, right?
probably that seemed to be the less like the least competent. Like it was just born when we saw it.
That's true.
Like
Um,
baby Annette's wood.
well, and also, like, Baby Annette's so pure.
She did watch a lot of murder though as a child.
I mean, it was casual
Um,
murder.
right. You know. um, yeah. Babe, Eraserhead baby's just sick, so I don't think that would
Yeah.
work. It's probably baby Jeff Goldblum versus baby Teton. I'd imagine. And
Baby Jeff Goldblum was, like, so, like, over the top that,
baby Jeff
like, I
Goldblum
don't kn
kills Eraserhead baby definitely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Important questions.
Oh, I
Okay.
got, an amazing piece of data today from one friend of the show, Jeffrey Kahn,
Oh,
that, uh, Irish Wish starring Lindsay Lohan, spiritual sequel, to Falling for Christmas, uh,
there's another one.
will well, I mean, we're saying it's the spiritual sequel to
Got
Falling
it.
for Christmas,
Okay.
will be debuting on Netflix, on March 15th, uh, and we're gonna watch it, and we're going to enjoy alcohol together.
Nice. Yeah. Maybe that's a movie we talk about on here. Maybe. We also should get a yawn counter on you. What's the over under? I'm gonna
Let's
I'm
just say 10.
I'm gonna go over over 10.
I'm gonna I'm confident on the under. I mean, we've
Okay.
seen 2 so far.
Yeah. In 3 minutes. It's a bit rough.
You
Odds
don't
are
know
not in your
me.
favor. I mean, I do. Um,
That's true.
what what else happened? What else happened this week? Oh, this annoyed me.
Oh, what
The
happened?
Bong Joon-ho's movie was pushed until January 2025. We were supposed to get that next month.
I know. It's
Like,
weird because January 2025 sounds like it's, like, 4 years from now, and then I remember, "Oh, no, that's less
it's
than a
less than a
year."
year. Yeah, that's insane. I don't like, we're gonna be halfway through the 2020s.
No. No.
Like,
I refuse.
yeah. I also realized that I'm closer to being 30 than I am to being born,
Yeah.
which is weird. It's 12 years. Doesn't make sense. Oh, do we have another one? Do we have another yawn coming?
Nope.
Look close. Look close. But anyways, yeah, Bong Joon-ho movie delayed. That's annoying. Apparently, he's doing an animated movie afterwards, like about like a deep sea creature, which is kind of interesting.
Hmm.
But yeah. What else? What else? What else? Tottenham lost against Wolves twice in a year, which was annoying. We move. We have the next week off playing Crystal Palace. Hopefully, we win. Their manager's like 76 and in the hospital. So if we don't win that one, um, but yeah. Oh, did you see Madam Web?
Okay, no, I don't know if it's showing here. Actually, let me see if it is because maybe I can convince friends to see it,
Okay,
um, this
I
weekend because
enjoyed
I
it.
really wanna see it.
I I
Yeah,
I
you said
enjoyed
it was like, um, kind of like good, bad, right? It is showing here.
nice. They decided
Oh, I wonder
to do
if
it.
I can oh, you know what? Technically tomorrow, I don't actually have something that I'm doing. I was
Madam
supposed
Web
to
Day.
go downtown to this festival with a friend, but it's not happening now.
Her web does connect us all.
I mean, I don't wanna go see it alone, but maybe I can convince either these friends to go do it anyway or convince them to go do it over the weekend.
Yeah. Like, it is. I think it crosses the line from into so bad it's good. Like, it's like, we watched Catwoman on the show. I enjoy Catwoman because it's funny, and this feels like Catwoman, and that's a compliment. Um,
I wonder if it has to be animal related, and that's part of the key to making it so bad it's good.
yeah,
'Cause
maybe.
Birdemic, is kinda like that, and it has
Mhm.
birds.
Sharknado. Yeah, maybe this is his thing. Yeah,
Oh, man, we've cracked the code.
I think it's animals. You have to be yeah, animals. I
We
mean, are
should
humans not animals?
I mean, in our base level, yes, we are. We should
You're
make, a So Bad It's Good movie with ferrets,
are you familiar
because
with G-Force?
ferrets No.
Oh god. Wait, I need to tell you what G-Force is. So G-Force, it's basically like Mitchell's vs. the Machines, but with guinea pigs in a decade earlier.
Oh, okay, thank God. I thought you were about to tell me it was ferrets, because
No.
ferrets are fuzzy snakes with legs, and they're God's mistake.
Oh, good, you're anti-fair. I'm also anti-fair. We're
Yes.
this is the real Antifa. Um,
I'm so glad this show is what it is.
okay, so sorry, okay, the director of G-Force, his name is Hoyt Yeatman,
Okay,
which
that's
is
the best name ever, and that
a
person is
name and a half.
definitely in witness protection.
So this features a cast of Sam Rockwell, Jon Favreau, Tracy Morgan, Penelope Cruz, Nicolas Cage, D. Bradley Baker, Bill Nighy, Will Arnett, Zach Galifianakis, Steve Buscemi. Ridiculous cast.
Are these people doing voice roles, or are they in the movie?
Some are voiced, some are in it.
Some of those people are actually physically in this movie.
Bill Nighy, Will Arnett, and Zach Galifianakis are physically in it. Everybody else that I mentioned is voiced.
Wow.
Penelope Cruz voices a guinea pig named Juarez. um, and it is about the okay. So there's these group of guinea pigs, right? They're called G-Force. And they're
Are they
spies.
superheroes? No, they're
Yeah.
spies. Oh god.
Well, they're yeah, they're spies, and they're employed by the United States government. This is where tax dollars are going to. Um, and
Probably.
they have a mole who is like their
Like
they're
a real mole?
a real
Like the
mole,
animal?
like the animal mole voiced by Nicolas Cage named Speckles, okay? And he is their guy in the chair that commands everything. And then we got the guinea pig team. We got Darwin, Sam Rockwell, Hurley, John Favreau, Blaster, Tracy Morgan, and Juarez, Penelope Cruz. And
No.
they're a special force of guinea pigs that do spy missions. So they're employed by the United States government to overthrow. So there's this guy, Leonard Saber, who owns like an appliance company, and basically he put AI in fridges and microwaves like we're doing now, and they come alive, and then there's all of these alive appliances that the guinea pigs have to fight and beat appliances. This came out in 2009, ahead of its time cinema.
Okay, actually, that's impressive.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, Scream 4, like, the whole, "Hey, I wanna be internet famous" kinda
Yeah,
thing, super ahead of its time.
this is the poster.
Oh my god. Have you seen this movie?
Yes, multiple times.
Okay, you have to assign me this movie at some point for this show.
Should we watch it next week?
I mean, if you want that to be the movie, I didn't
I mean
actually pick one for you yet 'cause, I know we were hypothesizing a change of format for next week.
but if we want to do G
If we wanna do G-Force, then, you just need to share the Google Doc with me because you have not yet shared the Google Doc with me,
have
so
I
that
not
way I
yet
can
shared the
pick one
Google
for
Doc with
you.
you?
No, you
I'm
have not yet
positive I
shared
did.
the Google Doc.
I'm looking back at the text.
Is it, oh, did you text it? I thought you sent it in Discord.
I think I
Oh,
texted
well
it.
then no, then I could be mistaken. You may have texted it. I thought you sent it in Discord. My bad.
I did in fact text it.
Okay, you did. You texted it. I looked for it in Discord. I'm a
Gaslight,
terrible person.
gaslight. Can't get away from it.
Good movie.
Um,
Okay.
but yes, G-Force. It's funny. I was between like doing we could do G-Force or we could do like a serious movie. We'll fi we'll figure it out. Um,
Well, if you
but
do G-Force, I think I know what I would do.
okay, you can surprise me.
Mhm.
We'll
Yeah,
probably
this
do
time you'd
G-Force.
get surprised.
Okay. Well, we'll just reveal it now. Your movie will be G-Force for next week.
Nice.
Uh, yeah. It's only 88 minutes.
Okay.
Reasonable time. What were we talking about? Oh, antifa, anti-ferret.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Should we just talk about the movies? Did you have anything else to say?
I mean, we actually started talking about Boss Baby 2, and then we just got way crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I haven't had that many interesting things going on in my life. I made a short film in 2 hours.
You did, and I quite enjoyed it.
I might post it. We'll see. You might be able to watch it. Mara, I made you watch the Boss Baby Family Business. Mara, would you like to guess how many people on Letterboxd have rated this movie 5 stars? I think I mentioned it last week. I don't
You
remember if it was,
did. It was a staggering number, if I
it was a
recall.
staggeringly large number. It's
What was it?
4,100 people.
That seems like 4,000 more than I would have guessed.
But 100 reasonable. That 100, is there. Um,
It's just like everything in it is like they went so extra, and I get it. I guess you just wanna go bigger, better, whatever, but, like, the first one's kinda cute, and you're like, "Okay, I'll suspend disbelief, whatever," but then, like, there's so much more suspension of disbelief in the second one, and then they, like,
um,
tease out even more for a possible third one,
which
and
is
I'm like,
happening.
"You oh god, no." And I'm like, I can't, because now,
Let's
like, mom is gonna be involved in it, and I just no thanks. No, don't involve mom. She's useless. No, thank you.
Women are useless, Mara. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, third one's coming. I listen. One, didn't realize it's Ariana Greenblatt is the one who voices Tabitha. So that's something. Um,
Oh,
she's just like everywhere right now.
uh-huh.
Kind of insane. Um, I mean, Yeah, wait, I'm sorry. Jimmy Kimmel is the voice of Ted Templeton? The grandpa? The dad? That's Jimmy
Oh!
Kimmel, and then Lisa Kudrow is the mom.
Yeah, I recognized her voice right away. I
I didn't
didn't
realize that
actually
was Jimmy
recognize his
Kimmel.
right away. Wow.
That's
At
crazy.
least they got the good Jimmy. We
Yeah.
are a I am a Kimmel household. I'm just gonna
I
throw it out there.
don't really care about I don't know.
I
I
used to live,
like,
like, 5 minutes away from Kimmel and,
that's
like,
fair.
Fallon's comedy, I can't.
No,
Especially because every
I
time
think
I would watch him on
Fallon is
SNL,
hilarious.
he would break, and it would drive me completely insane because 'cause I'm like, "Why do you keep him around if he cannot do a single sketch without
I
breaking?"
think it's funny to break, like, one time, like, every season or so, like, it's funny because when it's like, they're usually but, like, if it happens every time, then it doesn't make it fun. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I know,
Well,
I
yeah.
don't think
Like, every once in a while, it's so funny when they just cannot keep it
yeah.
together.
But if it's every time, then it's like, okay, well, yeah. I don't know, yeah, I find Jimmy Fallon incredibly annoying. But if you ever want to invite me on your show, Jimmy Fallon, I love you. So but, yeah, I don't know, is there, like, a good talk show host right now? Like, I mean, Conan was good, but Conan retired, right?
Maybe?
I think Conan
Conan is, like, super good people, though, so, yeah, we love Conan.
I think I Conan was the only one that, like, I think I liked. But I'm pretty sure he isn't hosting anymore.
He's also just, like, a good, decent human being, so, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
super, super cool
yeah,
and
he
super
did.
tall.
Yeah, he did stop 2021. So, yeah, I don't
That
know.
was that was 3 years ago. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. That's time. I hate time. Um, I'm glad James
Oh, you
Corden's
you hate your own short film?
yeah,
That's
my own short
terrible
film
to
called
say,
Time,
don't
yeah.
say that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad Corden stopped though, because that
Yeah, not a fan.
not a fan.
Emmy
Um,
thief, James Corden.
Emmy Thief. Um, yeah, yeah. Boss Baby 2. So the kid from he's now a dad, and he's a stay-at-home dad, and has a big imagination, and the Boss Baby is now like Donald Trump, I guess. And um
Yeah,
both
basically.
played by Alec Baldwin. And
Yes.
so yeah, and then I don't know, he comes back and visits. I missed how they turned back into babies, but that happened at some point. The Dot Tabitha turns them into babies at some point.
See, that's the other thing, like, I just that was where the thing got me, like, okay, I get the idea, like, okay, in the first one, I will suspend disbelief that there could be hyper intelligent babies. Okay,
Mhm,
sure, that I'll buy. But in this
mhm.
one, they're like, we have a proprietary compound where we can actually just like turn you back into a baby. It's like you can just turn any adult back into a baby whenever you want.
Yeah,
You have plenty of this. It's
yeah,
it's not even we're not even gonna say it's like it's a magic spell for one day or something. Because at first that's where I thought they were going with, like,
mhm,
the little Gandalf-esque alarm clock thing. I was like,
mhm,
"Oh, are they gonna do, like, magic shit?
mhm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll vibe with it." And then they're like, "Nope, it's just some stuff you drink."
Right, well, again, so if we wanna do some serious analysis of the Boss Baby family business, um, like, it doesn't there's no, like, ticking clock that creates any sort of, like, stakes to move forward or anything, or any sort of, like,
Well, they have 48 hours of
momentum.
it.
I y but, like, that's very rarely brought up, I feel, because the thing is, like, he wants to, like, be at the concert,
He has to be at the recital thing,
the
yeah.
recital thing, and that's gonna be covered by the time anyways, so, like, what I don't know. I feel like they
Yeah.
muddled the stakes.
Well,
Like
yeah, they kind of, like, indirectly made it kind of perfectly timed for him to be there.
right, so it doesn't matter that it's 48 hour it could've, like, why am I supposed there's no urgency because there is no, like, extenuating, circumstance outside that can, like, change the state, like
Well, plus they end up revealing that he's her dad anyway when he's in kid form, so she knew he was there, so it didn't matter that he was a kid.
right. right. Again, not to do serious analysis of the Boss Baby family business, but even at just, like, a structural basic level, it just doesn't work. But, I don't know, let's say something positive about the Boss Babies too. Oh,
I mean, there were a couple of funny things in it, like, I did like that there was when they were, like, the pony Precious was trying to take them to school, I did laugh really hard when they set the Christmas tree on fire and they're just dragging this enormous flaming Christmas tree down the road. I don't know why, but, like, setting Christmas on fire I thought was very funny.
okay, glad to know where your headspace is at. Um,
I don't know, that
um,
just that imagery was really funny.
listen, I enjoyed Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, he was having a great time. I mean, you know he was just in that booth, like, saying he probably was off script so much. I
Oh,
don't even know how much of what
I
he
don't know
said
if he
was
even was
in
given a script.
script,
I
but
think they just told him, like, "Get to this," and then he just went with it. Um, because yeah, like, I love how early they just reveal that he's a baby. Like, within, like, 5, 10 minutes of meeting this character, he's just out and, like, pops off the suit. It's so, so funny. Honestly, okay, the baby carrot, what's his name? Doctor Armstrong.
yeah.
Um, Based and correct. Humans have, we're doing global warming. We're doing, causing war. We're doing all the stuff. I
Yep,
think justifiably angry at human adults.
yep.
I think that he is perfect and using our obsession with the internet and our phones against us. I side. This is my Thanos was right. Dr. Armstrong was right. He is justified in his actions.
Yeah, I mean, maybe going about it maybe a little harshly, but yeah, I'm with you there. I loved the little, like, the songs and everything and the whole performance where it's like, "You guys are ruining Earth, and we're
Yeah,
inheriting a dying
It felt like
planet."
a Bo Burnham, like, parody.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, except with
like
adorable children.
"That's how the world works." But, yeah. I don't is there much to say about this film? Um, the baby's there
Oh,
and he bosses. Yes.
one thing that's interesting, so, like, you know how when you find out he's a baby, he asks, Alec Baldwin's character, he's like, "Do you want a lolly?" And he, like, shoves what we in America think of as, like, a lollipop, like the
Mhm.
hard candy on a stick. Here and in New Zealand, lollies are like gummy candies.
Mm,
So, like, if you want lollies, you'll get a little bag full of, like, chewy gummy candies. So that's what
interesting,
lollies are down here,
interesting.
and
I
they're yummy.
we all it's weird how English, like I think our language is pretty similar except when it comes to food. Like, it feels like food is where we have, like, massive differences for some
That's
reason.
true.
Like crisps and chips and, like, I mean, I think our other stuff is
Biscuits.
pretty yeah, biscuits.
Um,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
weird. I don't know why we have different names for food,
Yeah,
but
I think all of the American ones are probably wrong.
probably. I mean, I think most things that America does are
Man, the food here is so good.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
imagine
everything is
that.
so fresh and, like, every single kind of fruit is in season right now. Like, I can get mango, papaya, dragon fruit, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Um, they call cantaloupe rock melon.
Oh, interesting. A rock melon. Sounds
Watermelon,
like a band.
uh, it does actually. But I can get, like, any kind of fruit. Pineapple,
Any figs?
um yep, figs, plums, dates, uh like, anything. Yellow peaches, white peaches, yeah,
I feel
I
like now
have
we're just
an
playing a game as
abundance of
far as how
fruit.
many fruits you can name.
I could keep naming pears,
Okay,
um, every kind of
who's
apple,
counting?
just all of the apples. Hold on, I can keep going, give me a
Oh,
second.
okay. It's a game
No, no,
now.
no, hold hold on, yeah, let me keep going. I think I already named all the major berries.
I think so.
I named I don't think I said honeydew, but, honeydew, I believe, also exists here.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know what that is.
honeydew? It's
Yeah.
basically the not orange version of cantaloupe. It's like the green version of cantaloupe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah,
Hold on, I'm missing at least, like, one major fruit.
yeah. I mean, technically, a lot of things can be counted as fruits that we wouldn't normally be
Oh, well,
considering.
yeah, like lemons and limes are fruit.
Mhm.
Um,
I feel like there's other, like, weird ones.
oh, did I already say passion fruit? I don't know if I did or
You did
not, but
not.
passion
You did
fruit's in
not pass through.
season.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, I brought up figs. I wanna share with people with the thing I also sent you with figs,
Okay.
about, fig wasps. Um, so
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna research. So there's a YouTube channel I like. Her name is Maya Higa. She was a Twitch streamer, and then she got a lot of money from Twitch, and then stopped doing the normal Twitch things and just made an animal sanctuary in Texas called Aveas. She's only 24 or 25. It's just a nonprofit animal sanctuary, and then now she does like YouTube and Twitch stuff around the animals in her animal sanctuary, and she also has a podcast called Wine About It. That's very funny. So she did a thing that was about animal reproduction, and I would like to share to you what I learned about fig wasps. So they live for like 48 hours, all right? And how
What
it
a
works,
life.
what a life. So the female fig wasps, right? So they're born, and then they'll fly out, and then they fly into a fig. Okay, so they go to this fig, and then by going into the fig, they will like pollinate like all of the flowers, and that's what makes figs flower, grow, become fruit, and then we eat them, right? So, by the same time she's pollinating, she has her eggs, and she's laying her eggs. By laying the eggs, that is how the flower is getting pollinated and the fruit's getting pollinated, right? So, once she does that, she dies because when she flies in, the hole is too small and it rips off her antenna and wings. But it doesn't matter because she's going in to die. Okay, so she dies. Lots of baby fig wasps are born. Okay, um, the male fig wasps are not born with wings. They cannot fly, which means they cannot leave. So all of the male fig wasps and female fig wasps, so all these brothers and sisters, will reproduce with each other almost immediately, and then the male fig wasps all die, and then the female fig wasps will all leave now with their eggs, go to another flower, go inside, die, lay their eggs, and then the whole process restarts. And it all happens within 24 to 48 hours. And the
What a
male
life.
fig wasps have never been able to leave inside the flower. This also means that whenever you eat a fig, you're eating about like I mean at least the mom and then also all of the male fig wasps. So you're eating like probably 10 to 15 wasps every single time you eat a fig.
Yep.
So the question is this still vegan? Important
These are
question.
the questions.
These are the
Yeah.
questions. These are the questions. So yeah. Anyways, animals. Yeah.
I mean, oh, go ahead,
I
sorry.
mean, I watched the video, and for like you were for some reason the first person I thought of, and I feel like that checks out though.
That's
Like
true.
you would be the person interested in bug reproduction.
Accurate.
So yeah. Um, speaking of reproduction, babies, uh, and boss ones at that.
I mean, sad but true. I don't know what else there really is to say about it. Like,
Yeah,
it happened. It
it's
exists.
it exists, and it's somehow a third one's also going to exist. It's gonna be a trilogy.
Hooray.
Hooray! There's
We'll
really
watch
nothing
it.
to say about this movie. This is a
I mean, the good news 'Cause there's a whole lot to say about Belle.
Yeah, so should we get into Belle?
Yeah, did you like it?
I did like it. I did like it quite a bit.
I mean,
Um,
obviously, let's address that yes, there's, like, the Beauty and the Beast, heavy homage
yeah,
inside of it, yeah,
yeah.
but, like, they knew what they were doing with it, like, they weren't hiding it, at least.
No, no. I also don't think I mean, I know all art is derivative. I think that if people get, like, annoyed by something being, like, similar to something pastiche, homage, whatever, or even just, like, directly pulling from shots, like, that's just how art works. Just like that Paul Schrader quote about how, like, how you make a film is, like, don't try to pain yourself with coming up with a completely original idea. Just use all of the great ideas before. It's like a buffet. You just grab little pieces from all of the great, plates and dishes that have been assembled before, and put that together to make your own dish. Because you're the one grabbing it, so the proportions are going to be slightly different, even if somebody's done something similar. So,
Well,
like,
and everything around it besides just the
yeah,
concept of
it's so
the
different.
word belle, a castle, a beast,
Yeah,
and, some magical creatures in a castle. Other
right.
than, like, that sort of vibe and, like, angry villagers, everything around it besides that is, like, so completely different that I feel like, again, I'm acknowledging the grievance that other people have, and I'm like, "I get it," but, like, I excuse it because 'cause I'm like, "Everything else is fine," you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I didn't really have a problem with that at all, to be honest. So, uh, yeah,
I just
gorgeous
love how
movie.
anime movies, reconcile trauma. Like,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite things about them is, like, there's the trauma with the boys, there's her trauma with, like, not understanding her mom's sacrifice and feeling, like, maternal abandonment and, not getting what her mom did until she was doing it for herself. Like,
Mhm.
such heavy stuff. And
Yeah. And just the visual expression of how it gets there is like I mean, it's one of the most, like, beautiful pieces of animation I've ever seen. Like, particularly, like, that, like, the opening sequence the first time that we're introduced to you with, like, the sing I mean, also all the songs, great, incredible. Um,
yes.
but, like, no, that first opening sequence is, like, insane visually. Like, I wish I could have seen this in theaters. I know you got to see
On
it in
the
theaters.
big screen, it was
Yeah.
so pretty.
Like, I'm sure it looked gorgeous in a cinema because, yeah, I mean, even just, watching it on, like, a TV, it's just it's ridiculous. Like, I don't the level of intricacy that goes into, like, during the final performance as well, with, like, the lights
Oh.
and, like, oh my god, like, all of the lights, like, so I mean, yeah, and this is the type of film that I think is, this is what animation should be used for.
Mhm.
Um, I I mean, I'm thinking with just like the medium of live action film as a whole. Like, I think if you're gonna make something a film, then it shouldn't you shouldn't be able to do it in any other medium. Like, I get annoyed when like films are like super stagey because
Mhm.
especially when they're like adaptations of a play, and it feels like it's just filming a play, and it's like okay,
Oh,
well,
Fences?
yo, fences. Well, I wasn't gonna say fences, but fences. And it's
Sorry,
like, okay,
Fences.
like this is just a play. Like this can just be a play. There's no reason to make this a film if you aren't going to do anything formally interesting with the medium of film. And I think the
Yeah,
best films and the films that I love the most, I guess, are ones that you could only accomplish that.
agreed.
Number three, you could only accomplish that through the medium of cinema. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, The Zone of Interest last year, right? Like, yes,
Mhm.
it was a book before, but you aren't gonna be able to write in some of those sequences and what it does with the cinematography and the sound design. Like, that can't be accomplished through a book. The book would be doing something, different that arrives at a similar thesis. But, like, as far as inspiring, like, the same sort of, like, visceral feeling, like, you cannot do that in any other medium. You can only do that with cinema and the marriage of audio and visual. And I think with animation, it's similar. I think there's a lot of animated movies where it's like you could have done that exact same thing in live action or with it is like, but a film like Belle, like this can only exist as a piece of animation. There is no feasible way to accomplish that, like what this is doing visually and what this is like all the different visual representation metaphor and all that type of stuff. Like you cannot do this in live action. Like
Or at least you shouldn't, because all you'd end up doing is using something like the volume and having everything around you be computer generated anyway, and at that point, it's basically 90% animation with just a live action person, so what's the point?
exactly, exactly. And there are movies that I think do that in a fun way. Speed Racer. Um, I love Speed Racer. I but,
That
like,
tracks.
the
Get it?
yeah,
Get it?
but, like, it's so fun. It's just I said someone discovered it's just if you were just a child that just like ate a whole bag of pure sugar, and it's just like that's what it feels like. I don't know. I adore Speed Racer. I think it's like one of the most just fun movie. I love that movie. But it's like that also isn't trying to handle, you know, really like deep emotional themes per se. It's just,
Yeah.
it is just trying to be like that sugar rush type thing. And I think it's very good at just being a sugar rush and being like really fun and just that like crazy visual fun watch. But when you're handling the themes of, something like this, I think, or any sort of heavier themes, I think that the kind of artifice of animation allows for that to breathe, and it allows for that separation um,
Mhm.
of reality, I think. Because I think if you're seeing like a live action person, you have this expectation of reality. And you have this greater expectation for how things are looking and everything, and how you want to see visuals represented for you to emotionally connect. And like that just doesn't work because it does feel artificial, but it's I think when it's live action, it's wanting you to not feel like it's artificial. Whereas with animation, it's that it's not real going right. Like it has this conceived level of artifice that I think allows it to expand more with what it's doing.
And, it's also one of the movies where did you watch the sub or the dub?
I watched the sub.
So, I have watched both versions, and I actually think that the dub is a very good one,
Okay,
for
yeah,
not having, it doesn't have, like, super splashy dub actors, like, it doesn't have, like, voice actors that are,
like the Boy and the
like,
Heron dub with like Florence Pugh and Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe and everything. Yeah,
yeah, or even, like, really popular, like, anime voice actors like Matthew Mercer or, like,
sure,
somebody that, like, everybody knows, like, it doesn't have, like, nobodies or anything, but, like, it has people know, but it doesn't have, the Christian Bales or stuff like that.
sure.
Um, but it's a really good English dub, so for people that truly have a lot of challenges with subtitle films, uh, I prefer subtitle versions just because I find that the native language it conveys the emotions more authentically, just because that's how it's written and that's how it's animated, um, and that's how it's supposed to be communicated, and also it's a beautiful language anyway, but some English dubs I find fall very, very, very short. This one I find to be very, very good, including the music, because of course it's translated music at that point also.
Yeah, I did listen to some of the translated songs just to hear some of the lyrics and stuff and what was being said, and just how it was translated and how it was different than like the subtitle version for the songs in
Yeah.
particular. But yeah, no, I mean, I I don't know, I might try the dubbed version. So I still want to see the dubbed version of Boy and the Heron actually, because I saw the subbed version and loved it, and I'd be curious to see how the dub plays. Have you seen it? Yeah.
I've seen both, yeah.
Okay, nice. Which did you like? Did you think the dub was good or?
I thought it was good, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Okay.
I still prefer the subtitled version, but
Sure.
that's just me.
Yeah. I think we've talked about that movie. I liked it a lot. I know how you
I
felt.
I liked it a lot. It's not, like, my favorite, but I really, really, really liked it.
Yeah.
Like, I
Same.
know for some people, they're like, "Absolutely, it's, like, my new favorite," and I'm like, "That's so cool."
Yeah.
It is not my new favorite, but I really, 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 really liked it.
I'm not quite there. I think it will age as like one of his best. Like I think it will age really, really well. I think especially, it'll be sad, but like when he passes away, I think that this will be like kind of like one of his like, it'll be seen as like his final like defining legacy piece. Um,
Swan song, maybe,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
ironic because it's a heron and not a swan.
yeah, yeah. But, like, I mean, it really did just feel like I don't know, it felt like his last film with everything that he
I
was
mean
thematically doing.
it's really, really talking about death.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, I don't know. But back to Belle, 'cause was this Hosoda's last film? I feel like
I
it was
think
his
so.
Um, which is an interesting one to go out on because I'm not that familiar with his work as a whole. Uh, but I think I remember hearing that this is Mamoru Hosoda's last work because I'm familiar. I haven't seen Mirai,
Yeah.
but I'm familiar with Mirai.
Yeah,
Um,
Mariah was 2018.
okay, yeah. So, but yeah, no, I mean, there is just a lot to dive into with this. I think it's like one of the most interesting representations of just the internet on screen and just how it depicts our interaction with it. And obviously, I think it's supposed to be slightly in the future. I don't remember if they said an exact date. Um,
No, not exactly, but, like, yeah, I mean, I think just the idea of the technology kind of implies slight future.
but not too much. I mean, there's the Apple Vision Pro, and we have the metaverse, and like probably
Yeah.
like 5 years to be honest before we get to something like this, which is insane.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ooh, ugh.
Mm. But yeah, uh, but no, I think it's I don't know. I think like how we engage with the internet, particularly my generation who grew up on the like I haven't known really a day where the internet didn't exist. And
I
that's
mean, to
true
be
for
fair, me too.
okay. I would say the internet in the modern sense, like
Yeah.
social
Like, I
media,
didn't grow up with YouTube
right?
and Twitter.
Like though YouTube and Twitter were invented like around when I was born. So I should reframe, yeah. The internet in the modern sense with like social media. Like smartphones were invented, I think, like a year or two after I was born. So like it was like that. like um yeah, like I don't know. I mean, and people born after me, it's just like even more so just so far into the internet. And I think that like I don't know. I mean, it definitely it kind of restructures our brain chemistry and like how we perceive things. I think we perceive things a lot more non-linearly now,
Yeah.
and it's far more abstract. We don't take things just immediately at face value. There's just there. It's more of like a collage of information. I think how we perceive things,
Mhm.
and I think that leads to really abstracted identities where you can feel so connected to everything that you can also at the same time feel a lack of connection to anything specific, I guess. And I think that this film represents that in a really interesting way as far as kind of like the fractured idea of identity and the presentation for the internet that you construct and this chance at constructing a new identity. But then now, because our identities in the real world are also constructed, so then you feel like you have multiple identities that you have constructed that you have to uphold. And at first, it can feel freeing, I guess, to have this like space online where you feel like you can be your truest self. But eventually, how all identities work, they end up becoming this constructed thing that you have to uphold rather than a natural, true thing. I think it's really hard to be like in a world where social conditioning and social constructs like exist. Like, can we ever say that we've truly been ourselves? Like, or have we all just been a constructed identity that we feel is the most presentable version of ourselves?
Well,
Um,
especially in Belle, because, I mean, they literally have an AI construct a
yeah,
version of you.
exactly, right. And again, it's supposed to be like it's presented as this freeing thing, like, oh, you can be the true version of yourself. But in the end, again, that's all facade for another, yet another construct of identity.
Yeah.
Um, and I know I think that's such a fascinating way because I mean that is really how the internet works. I feel, like even it's like oh I'm gonna create this like anonymous account on Twitter or
Mhm.
something or on a social media
Burner
thing,
account.
right? And that's where I can just be myself. But eventually you're defined like how people engage with you on social media. Like they don't know you, they aren't around you, so their only perception of you is what you are putting out in the posts. So then they develop this idea of who this person is and who you are based off of this small amount of words that you're putting out for people to engage with. So then based
Yeah.
on that, they construct this idea in their head of, oh, this is who this person is, which isn't going to be correct because they're only engaging with this tiny sliver of what you're choosing to put out and not actually you. And then that just becomes another box of identity, like constructed identity. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's really, really fascinating. And again, how a lot of people I think will use it as an escape as we see. I mean, I don't know. Do we want to talk about spoilers with Belle?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
it's
so. I
weird.
mean,
Like,
it's 3 years ago, so
yeah. Yeah. So like with the kid who ends up being the beast, right? Like I mean, I think that was very clearly he was escaping into this world as this, getaway from his father's abuse, right? Which is I think how a lot of people use the internet and social media. It's a way to escape the real world, and particularly when you have something as immersive as you in the film. It's this really immersive escape, I think. But it just turned into this other thing where he was being hunted and there's all this like it never really is truly an escape. Um which I think is quite an interesting kind of thesis for the film to land on. So
yeah. I mean, I think I love the way in which they kinda did it because I didn't pick up on the initial imagery of, like, the art on his, like, cloak
mhm.
thing being, like, bruise pattern. Like, I just thought it was pretty.
Yeah, same.
Like, it almost looked more like flowers to me.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, so, like, I just thought that was an interesting way to represent that. I also love how, in a way, it was almost like teasing out, who could this be? Because when they showed those little snippets of all those people and they showed
Baseball
the
player.
younger brother, and then they showed the guy talking about like, "Oh yeah, after their mom's gone, it's just us now." And like just these little bits and pieces and things like where you realize, kind of after the fact, you're like, "Oh, it was those guys." Like,
Yeah.
but they were so under the radar at first that you thought they had nothing to do with it. So I actually thought it was kind of a fun little mystery the first time that I saw it.
Yeah, it is like a fun, like fairly well constructed mystery, I think.
Yeah.
Um
'Cause
which
I had no freaking clue who it was the first time I saw it. I like, a lot of times I can kind of get an idea and maybe suss out what's going on in kind
mhm.
of a sort of whodunit-esque scenario. I had no freaking clue. I was like, "I'm on the ride with everybody else. I've got no idea what's
Yeah,
happening."
which
And
I
I was
think
really
that is like
surprised.
a separation from the original, fairy tale Beauty and the Beast story, where there
Oh, for
isn't
sure.
really that, like, idea of, of figuring out who the Beast. Like, I think everybody knows who the Beast is, right? Like,
Well, yeah, the
it's
whole beginning of the story is like, "Hey, here's
how
this
the Beast.
prince like,
Yes.
fancy, rich guy. He's a dick. He
Yeah,
got turned into a beast."
exactly, yeah, and, like, yeah, I mean, this very much turns that kind of on its head, and, I mean, I think as well how it plays with, um again, as a kind of separation from it, like I think Belle in the original Beauty and the Beast is more hapless and kind of looked down upon, I would say. Um,
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think
and
the only reason why, like, the Beauty and the Beast part exists is just for the inside of you for, like, the Beast to have a castle and for her
right,
name to be Belle
Belle, right,
and for people to hunt a beast. Like, I feel like
yeah.
that's the extent of it, but
Right, because, like,
yeah.
Belle and it again, it plays with that identity thing with her, being Belle and being this, like, music star in the multi-world or whatever it is, the internet, I guess, and, kinda playing with her perception of fame, which must be so interesting. I feel like it must be similar to, like, being it must be similar to being, like, internet famous or something like that, but, like, never meeting anybody who, follows you, like, because it's to you like, this personality means so much to all of these people, like, or, like, hundreds of thousands of people, but then, you go in your regular life and live, I imagine, like, some of those, like, streamers or YouTubers or whatever who, like, never show their face or reveal their name, right? Who have, like, millions of followers, like, I know there's, like, video game people who I don't follow it that much, but, like, like, if they do, like, a game and they have a bunch of people who are following them, but nobody knows what they look like, nobody knows their name, and they just go and live as a normal person, yet they're, like, just this incredibly recognizable name that so many people are familiar with and know online, so, I don't know, I think it's a very, very relevant, I think, contemporary look at that sort of, uh, lens of, you know, perception with the internet, so, yeah.
Yeah, that movie, it talks and it does a lot. Like,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, 'cause it's not a short movie, but I also think that it definitely keeps your attention because it's handling a lot of plot threads. Because I mean, there's the school stuff with her friends and, like, their interpersonal relationships, like, her friends that are, like, her
By a
platonic
kid.
girlfriends, the guys and her friends and the guys that they like, the guy that she likes, and the stuff with her dad, the grief with her mom, the
Mhm.
choir ladies, trying to mentor her. Then there's all the stuff in You and her friend Hero, and the stuff with the Beast, and then the stuff with the 2 kids, like the separate adventure kind of in the very end. So it's like all of the stuff is happening,
Yeah, it's
but
bouncing a lot, but it
every
does it
single one of
well.
those things,
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, and, like, I think it's well paced, but it just, like, it handles so many relevant concepts and, like, so many really heavy ideas.
Yeah,
Like,
and it never feels overwhelming, I think is, like, a
no.
testament to it, like, it never feels like it's doing too much, which I think is nice.
Well, and the crazy
So
thing also is it has, like, 5 musical numbers in it or
yeah.
something, and it also doesn't feel like it drags or, like,
No.
like you're waiting for anything to happen. Like,
No.
it's a surprisingly well done movie that, like, people haven't heard of.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, it should definitely be on a lot more people's radar. I mean, the musical numbers are just incredible, like, oh my god.
The
Like, I could watch
last
I
one
could
I love so much, and I
Mhm.
actually really love the English translation version quite a bit, like, it's the "Sing in the Shower" song for me, the one that,
Yeah.
like, she sings directly to him, like,
Mhm.
oh, so good.
It's really, really incredible. I mean, yeah, I could watch a whole film that's just like a concert film animation of like that. Like to be honest, it's yeah, really, really good. But yeah, I don't know if I have much more to say about it, but just really, really great. Really, really great. Really glad I watched it.
I'm
So
so glad.
yeah.
You're probably not gonna like the one I'm giving you for this week, though. I
Okay.
gave you a couple good ones, so I'm gonna give you one that I think you'll appreciate
To be fair, you
one
gave me
small
Gods of Egypt.
aspect of it.
I don't think you can say you gave me a couple of good I mean, I guess this and
Well,
Jackie
I
Brown.
gave you Jackie
That's
Brown, and
true, that's true.
then
'Cause
yeah,
I
so
started you off with Myra Breckenridge and House, and then I gave you
that's
Boss
true.
Baby. So I'll do G-Force. We can do G-Force. Um, we'll yeah, we'll wait a little bit more on some of the more serious ones again, and the good ones. Um, so G-Force for me by Yeatman. What yeah.
I'm going to give you the very first Saw film.
Oh my god.
Just the first one. The
Okay.
first one is not gory. It has, like, one small incidence of blood. It is not gory. It is very moody. It is very of its time. It it is it is something, and the best part is Michael, I don't think, has seen it, so I'm gonna force him to watch it this week with me.
We are doing Saw and G-Force as a double feature.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. That
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
that'll be
bop.
fun. That's gonna be oh my god.
It's also a pretty short movie. It's like hour 45, I think, so I was like, "This is a good idea."
G-Force is an hour 25, I think, so,
Yeah, so I
yeah.
didn't wanna give you a long movie either.
Okay, well, next week, Saw and G-Force. We'll also
This
probably
I
talk about we'll also probably talk about Dune a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but yeah.
Plus, we'll also record at, like, a much more habitable hour, and I will be able to speak louder, be more
Yes.
energetic.
We
People
did
won't be
only have 3
sleeping.
yawns. You started off hot with the yawns, and you restrained yourself.
I
So,
did forcefully restrain at least 3
there
other
was a couple
yawns.
that I saw the
I
the
forced
process
them
started
down,
to yeah, the muscles started the process, but,
but
um,
there were only, like, 3 or 4. We were still would have been well under 10,
yeah,
so
yeah. No, you won that one. Um,
but I
I
do
don't
gotta say, though, the very second that we cut, I'm gonna be like, "Trevor, you're the best. I'm gonna go to bed now."
No, that is fair. I mean, it's what, 4, 5
Yeah.
now?
What
Yeah,
you guys don't know is normally when we finish recording, we talk for probably, like, 20 minutes before we even hit record because we forget to hit record right away, but
right.
this time we didn't.
We
And we
did,
talked
we
for
remember
maybe,
to hit
like,
record.
5 minutes,
Yeah,
and then usually we talk for, like, 1 to 3 hours after we record,
yeah.
usually. So,
But that would
this
just mean we
time
wouldn't sleep. So,
yeah, this time I'm gonna go to bed, though.
that is fair. That is fair, but yeah. Cool.
But we'll record at a normal time next week, so that way
Yeah.
the show will be less NPR, and
NPR.
we will have a little bit more, high energy. Maybe I'll get one
Bursts.
of the Australian energy drinks called V.
It's called V?
They're just called V
Do
because
they
it's
have other letters?
nope, just V.
Just V. Why?
I don't know, it's just, like, what it's called. Like, it's not monst like, they do actually sell Monster here, but they have one called V, and I tried it, and it was really good.
Interesting. Well, we'll see you for Saw and G-Force
Oh,
next
that's
week.
gonna it's gonna be so great.
Probably some conversations about Dune 2 as well, because 'cause we'll both seen it by then. Um,
Yes.
but yeah,
And
Saw and
oh, and
G-Force.
Madam Web. We should talk about Madam Web for, like,
Yeah, well,
5 minutes because 'cause
that's
I'll
how
see
we
it.
got to G-Force, is because I brought
That's
up Madam Web, and then we brought up Antifa ferrets, and then we got to G-Force.
I'm gonna make us Antifa shirts.
This anti-ferret. Alright, bye everybody.